Are we gonna stay in orbit? And what is this gonna do to our tides and our weather? I wonder how much of a difference it'll make on Universe Sandboxes. Oh! Io just collided with something. Oh no. See that? Like I said, that's the problem. When things get too crowded, you're gonna have collisions, and eventually everything will kind of fall back into some sort of stability. But, meanwhile, life on Earth gets eradicated. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens to Earth here. Get a hailstorm of fire and dust. How are we doing temperature wise here? Just a really cloudy day. Really good for the farmer's soil. All the space dust, growing some space potatoes like Matt Damon, the Martian. Matt Damon. Did anyone watch that movie? I kind of liked it. Um, when you only have one character on screen pretty much the whole movie, I think they did a pretty good job of making it about as exciting as you can. I think I'm going to start rewatching the old Star Trek movies too because I was always more of a Star Wars nerd growing up. But I did watch some of the newer Star Trek. I should say newer, but the new when they rebooted the movies in like 2006 or 2008 or something. I started watching them, so now I kind of want to go back and watch some of the old Star Trek movies. And it's actually kind of interesting to see some of the older practical effects. I feel like in a lot of sci-fi movies lately, I don't feel as immersed. Whether it's the CGI looking unrealistic, the characters not being super compelling, um, and sci-fi movies are just hard to find good movies in general because in order to get a lot of really good outer space visuals, it's super expensive. So a lot of the really good movies or TV shows like The Expanse, for example, most of The Expanse takes place actually inside of dark hallways of a spaceship, and then once in a while they have some outer space footage. And unfortunately, really, they do that kind of to save budget because a lot of TV companies and streaming services out there, they don't want to put a massive budget into sci-fi shows because it is a little bit more niche. So a little bit smaller of an overall audience. And so I think a lot of times investors are afraid to drop big money. So that's why it's so rare that you have um, a really good sci-fi show like The Expanse or I've never seen Stargate SG-1, but I think it just got added to Netflix or something like that. So one of the streaming services that I have like most of them, so I don't remember. But Stargate SG-1 is also supposed to be one of the greatest ones, but it's really like every couple of years that you get a really good sci-fi movie or really good sci-fi series. So yeah, let me know what are your favorite sci-fi movies and series. Let me know down in the comments. Um, I was actually thinking about maybe reviewing some more obscure sci-fi movies, but I'm just kind of curious what the reception on that would be. I'm not sure if I really want to get into the movie space because that's almost a completely different YouTube space. So we'll see. And then if you want to show clips of the movies, you really get into copyright infringement depending on what movies you're doing. So that's why most of the time when you're watching movie reviews, you'll notice people will use still pictures from the movie or they'll use very short clips. And that's because of a copyright law called fair use, which is very ambiguous, unfortunately. It doesn't just say you can use 7 seconds of a video for every minute of your video. It just says you can essentially reuse other people's stuff as long as you're making it creative and you're making it your own unique content or it's for the purposes of education or to like inform about the video. It's the most vague law possible, and so that's why some companies will go after people harder than others, and that's why I'm always afraid to put stuff from movies in my videos and stuff because of that, because of copyright strikes. So Video games are awesome because you're creating your own content technically, right? So everything that I'm doing here, I'm creating. I didn't make the video game, but um, and generally video games like to be shared so that people know about them. So they're, you don't really get copyright strike for video games. I don't even think you can actually. So, oh boy, let's check this out. So we got struck, but let's see if half of Earth is still habitable or not. I was just rambling on here for a minute there. Let's do the flashlight. Um, okay, maybe it would be habitable if it wasn't all flooded. You can live in some mountains in the Andes here in Chile. You can live in the Rockies. San Diego, you're still okay for some reason. You guys always get perfect weather. Totally unfair. Even in Apocalypse Earth scenario. Parts of Alaska. That's about it. The very most mountainous regions of North and South America aren't flooded. It looks like our sea levels rose quite a bit. Obviously, this impact caused a lot of that. And let's just see what happens here. Let it ride for a little bit more, and then we'll blow it all up. So thanks for joining me today. I hope everybody had a great day. If you had to work, I hope you got your work done. So I hope you're lucky enough to somewhat enjoy your job, enjoy what you do. Wow. So, look at all those fragments. Speed it up a little bit more and just kind of get the final effect here. Looks like our hothouse is spreading. Oh no. Yeah, we also, had a bunch of new dust and stuff hit us. It doesn't look like it's significantly changed our mass, but super hot. Not a nice place to live. Now, I'd imagine we're going to cool down because a lot of this heat is from impact, so we'll see what that kind of does to our atmosphere. Just kind of let it rock for a minute here. Cooling back down. Do we even have our original moon anymore? Yeah, that's farther out. I put them all in pretty close, too. That's my bad. Titan way out here. Deimos. Phobos. Those are the two moons of Mars. And you know what? Mercury's small enough. Mercury's smaller than Titan. Less massive. Mercury, you're a moon now. Deal with it. Oh. So I think theoretically the Earth could hold a lot of moons, but I do believe that moons themselves moons themselves are temporary. We know that our moon is leaving us at a very slow rate. We have seen moons of Saturn cut into the rings and even start crashing into Saturn. So we know that moons are generally remnants of collisions and that on at least galactic timescales, they're not permanent. Sort of like on very, very long timescales on Earth, rivers aren't really permanent, right? Um, they form probably from flooding. Who knows exactly how they move water from place to place. Eventually, that source of water will change, the river will meander and move. They say, no man steps in the same river twice, because the water is not the same, and the man is not the same, or something. I butchered that, my bad. All right, Earth. We haven't had any new collisions, because the new moons that I added were farther out. But I don't think that we're necessarily going to get habitable. All right, let's blow it up. Boom, boom. Goodbye.
Hey everyone, it's Maddie. You just saw a short clip from a longer live video, so make sure to check out the link to that video if you're interested in seeing more. And of course, make sure to like, comment, and share this with somebody who you think would be interested. Thanks a lot. I hope you learned something new today. Peace.